So I finally got the Platinum Trophy for Wizard101, a turn-based MMORPG with a card-based combat system. This game first came out in 2008 and later ported to the current gen consoles in October of 2025. This is my first time playing this hidden gem, and it surprised me that out of the 4,000 or so players, and this is only the ones that have a PSNP account mind you, only 20 of them has the Platinum Trophy, obviously myself included. Insanely enough, I never really got into any MMORPGs, mainly because most of these MMOs have a monthly subscription. And with that said, I thought that the Platinum would cost me 500 hours of my life, at least. But according to my PlayStation, I only put in roughly 180 hours, and that's an exaggerated number because I originally wasn't going to make this into a video. So the whole time I was actually just playing without the thought of trophy hunting, or in the taboo terms for us trophy hunters, I was actually playing for fun. So if technically you can get the Platinum in as little as 100 hours, how come only 20 people out of the 4,000 have the Plat? Well, strap in because I'm about to bring you along into my journey of Wizard101. This is a free-to-play game, and technically you don't have to spend a dime to get the Platinum, which obviously would be a lot grander as a result. And out of all the trophies in the game, there are only 4 main story-related trophies. One for finishing all the quests in Unicorn Way, which is the starter level of the game,
you are to truly master your magical talents.
And another trophy for finishing all the quests in Cyclops Lane, Trenton Avenue, and Firecat Alley. And these are the higher-ish levels found in Wizard City.
You found a...
And the other 2 trophies are tied to 2 bosses in the game. The first being the Iron Golem and Lord Nightshade. And at this point, if I wanted to progress any further, this is when the game expects me to cough up them wizard dollarinos so I can get to the next world. Wizard101 has a total of 4 arcs, at least that I know of, because I only made it midway through Arc 2. The first arc consists of Wizard City, the main hub and the only free content for the game, and the only world that has trophies tied towards it. The second world for Arc 1 is Crocotopia, and as the name suggests, is a desert that is mainly populated by crocodiles. Third one is Marleybone, which is actually one of my favorite worlds, is set in London populated by dogs, and the iconic Sherlock Bones. Fourth is Mushu, a level set somewhere in Asia that is populated by cows, hence the moo. And the final world for Arc 1 is Dragonspire. Yeah, I think you already know what's in here. Finishing these worlds helped me greatly in most of the grindy trophies in this game. Well, to be completely honest, 98% of these lists are just a massive grind anyway. Trophies like the Undead Conqueror for defeating 500 undead enemies would then feel less grindy this way because you actually have a goal, instead of mindlessly farming undead enemies 500 times. Or getting 50 total pets, which is actually the grindiest trophy for me in this game, hands down. But more on this later. Going through at least the first arc would make the trophies 1 in a million and Elixir Vitae a lot more achievable. And I know when I said that technically anyone can plat this game without spending money, and that's only true if you have other friends helping you achieve these massive trophies. So what is 1 in a million and Elixir Vitae, you might ask? Well, these are the trophies for dealing a total of 1 million damage and healing for a total of 1 million HP or more with a single spell. And playing through Wizard City just ain't enough, since the average level you're most likely to get is at around level 16. Even the highest damage dealing school, which is Storm, won't dish out over 600 damage at this level. And even then, how would a Storm Wizard heal for 1 million if the only school that mains and heals are the Life Wizards? Which is why I ended up forking that $10 monthly subscription in hopes to make these trophies more achievable even when playing alone. Well, I'll get back to these later because as you might have already guessed, I did end up dealing the million damage and healing trophies last. There are simple trophies that don't require a long grind to get, believe it or not. When I first started the game, one of the quests I ended up accepting was for fishing. Fishing is really simple here. Just like every other mechanic in this cute little 2008 game, there were 4 trophies I needed to get that were fishing related. Literally after getting my fishing rod is when I got my first trophy called Novice Angler for achieving fishing rank 1. Thankfully, the game had some mercy when it came to the grind because I only needed to reach rank 3 for Apprentice Angler. While this might be as simple as mindlessly fishing until I maxed my rank, there was a catch. And this catch is called the energy bar, or ball, whatever it's called. This limits any minigame related thing I do in this game, which is what makes even the easiest of trophies somewhat annoying. Energy does regenerate over time, and sometimes that's just what I had to do. The other way to keep playing is of course through microtransactions. Ooh, gotta love the greed, man. Obviously I wouldn't stoop so low as to pay real cash just so I can fish for longer. The devs did also make it possible to get energy back through leveling up, where it would fill up my energy gauge, and I was back to fishing. So I wasn't too salty that they have this kind of mechanic in this game, because I would just fish first and then do the quest that I wanted to do later. And I kind of just bounced from questing and fishing every now and then. While I did eventually reach rank 3 for fishing, I wasn't just grinding for the levels. I was also going for the trophy Fishy Business for catching 10 unique fish. This would also be tied along with Catch of the Day for catching 1 small fry fish. The next little wizard hobby that I needed to get into was gardening. Talk about having to wait a day for full energy. Well, for gardening, I literally had no choice, because once you plant the seeds and give the plants what they need, I had to wait till the next day anyways. Thankfully, it wasn't anything crazy. I just needed to buy a flower pot from my local dealer in Wizard City, and straight from my dorm, I just started planting random seeds. The first trophy I got was for rank 1, and I got this the minute I got the equipment to start planting the good stuff. In the beginning stages of the plant, they didn't really need anything. It's when they're more mature that they would start needing certain things like water or manure or a lightning blast from the actual gods to help your plant be insect free. Besides these small requirements, the hardest part is just waiting in real time. But I just keep tending to my plants every time I booted up the game, literally before doing anything else, kind of like real plants when you think about it. Eventually, I ranked up to rank 3, and eventually rank 5, as my plants now face total annihilation since I didn't really have a reason to take care of them anymore. Now entering the more annoying territory are the pet minigames. In Wizard101, you get different sorts of pets that can help you via extra cards or stats. Speaking of stats, a surefire way to raise a pet's stats are doing the minigames. Some of you are probably thinking right now, oh, it's not that bad. No, I say, it's worse than bad. There are 5 trophy-related minigames, and for each one, I have to win 25 times per game. But the pain doesn't stop there, because lo and behold, I also needed energy to keep playing these minigames. It's probably for the best that the game is forcing you to take a break from these god-awful minigames anyways. There is literally only one minigame that I thoroughly enjoyed here, and that's the dancing minigame. Everything else was mind-numbing and boring. The first game I got the 25 wins for was the Gobbler game, where I had to just collect food as they're falling to the ground. My absolutely least favorite game on here, and that's The Way of the Ninja Pig, which is just like American Ninja Warriors. The more difficult and lengthy one on this list, which is why it's my most hated one. The dancing game was next, and even my preferred one on here got pretty bland after 5 wins, let alone 25. The Grumpy Gobbler, which is basically like Angry Birds, this one does have a really big potential for me to fail because I have to hit everything before I run out of ammo. That, and it felt long as heck too when I was going for it, or maybe because I was just bored out of my mind, I don't know. And lastly, the maze game. This one was alright, mainly because I don't think there was any way for me to lose here. It's kind of like a 3D Pac-Man, except I don't have to collect all the fruit. Like I could have just stood still the whole time if I really wanted to. And don't get me wrong, it was still a lengthy and mind-numbing experience, but at least after winning 25 times, it was finally over. Back to my previous question on why does this game only have 20 people who platinumed it? Maybe because it's still a new port since it only came out a couple of months ago. Or maybe it's the fact that we're in that age where not a lot of people vibe with turn-based combat. Or maybe because of the graphics that not a lot of people vibe to. I mean, all of these could possibly be a factor, but the main trophy or trophies that may have caused a lot of people to give up on the 100% is the trophy Maximal Mayhemist. This and 2 other trophies are tied to an event that happens monthly in this game called Beastmoon Mayhem. Beastmoon is a timed event that only starts on the first Tuesday of every month, which lasts for about a week. Sure, it doesn't sound too bad unless you're racing against time to get the plat, but that's not the whole reason why this trophy only has a 0.1% earn rating. For this trophy, I needed to win 10 Beastmoon Mayhem matches, which is the PvE one. There's also a PvP alternative, which is a different thing altogether, so basically these 2 alternates per month too, so there's also that. For the PvE, however, sure, the mobs and bosses can be difficult without good and steady teamwork, but what makes this trophy damn near close to being impossible is the time limit.
What the fuck, man?
This is garbage. starting to understand how people aren't getting the wins.
The match starts with a specific timer, but there's a hidden bonus clock around the map that everyone needs to look for to add time. The reason that the extra time was so important was because we, as a group, needed to clear out the outer circles, which consists of mobs, in order to unlock the final circle in the middle where the boss is. When the round begins, the game gives us 10 minutes to clear out all the fights and reach the boss. So unless we can nuke the enemies including the boss itself, there is no way that 10 minutes was remotely close to being enough.
Bro, what? We're out of time again already?
Fucked, I don't know how you win. But like, it takes ages for anything to happen in the boss fight. Like, we're still playing animations and it finished 5 minutes ago.
Oh, because this dude is a healer, he went to the boss fight, and yeah, they weren't doing any damage, really.
Like, you need clinical precision to get through this. And because we're not every person in the match, we just have to hope the other people do something correctly.
Even after finding the hidden clock that adds like 3 or 5 minutes or so was not enough. Since it was our first time going for this, the game only gives us characters that we can transform into that were in the free rotation for that month. Even then, we would have to upgrade said character to even get a fighting chance, which requires ingredients found in packs, the pay to win option, or playing the game mode. The other problem here is that we would need 6 players to start this event, and not a lot of players, at least on console, are queuing for this specific game mode. There were moments where we were actually putting up a decent fight with a decent time remaining on the clock, but the timer absolutely does not stop for literally anything. And the animations that this game has were also against us because it takes so much time just for an animation to finish, let alone an AoE attack where a card would do the same animations 4 times before it stops.
Oh, this is gonna be a long.
This is like the longest animation. It's so stupid. Just one
Devs
slash,
left it in on
bro.
purpose.
That's so dumb.
It's a speed run, basically. You gotta beat 3 phases of this to win the game. And you only get 10 minutes. And you gotta do like 4 battles. And you get stuck in these animations. It's just terrible.
Our hopes dwindled faster than waiting for a match every time we lost. And every time we got close to beating a boss, we would run out of time even if we were in the middle of an animation that could have beaten said boss.
Or the end, like here we go, the animation.
Out.
400, big.
Oh, we're gonna run out of time because it's his turn first. Go! Go! Cast it faster! Go!
Go!
No! No! No!
Oh my
Oh my god!
The traps!
Oh my fuck.
The whole mechanic is scuffed and there was no way for us to get at least 1 win. We did get 2 trophies at least, but these trophies just came with time, like finishing 1 match.
Oh, I got it.
We lost catastrophically.
What the fuck?
And it didn't matter if we lost either, which was good because that's exactly what happened. And after constantly trying over and over and over again, we managed to finish 25 matches for another trophy, which already is a crazy outcome that after 25 matches, we never won a single match. This would be a lot doable if we had a pre-made group of 6 people. Alas, we only had 5. So we had to gamble on whether or not the one random was at least decent. Until the unthinkable happened, and we managed to beat the boss just before the timer ran out.
Oh, that killed.
You got it? 12 plus 12 minutes. Nice.
The possibility of us actually getting this trophy before the week was over and having to wait 2 months just so we can play this specific game mode again was proving to be somewhat bright. Until we ran out of time once again on the boss fight, where the boss was 1 hit away from defeat.
Come on, come on.
Go, hit it. Go, go, go.
Get it.
Pass, pass, pass.
Oh my.
Come on.
I think it was the random. The random didn't pass straight away. Oh, that's gonna kill him as well. That was gonna kill him.
That's dumb.
That was
like they need to pause the timer or something when we're attacking. That's so dumb.
So yeah, after all that, we made a total of 0 progress on the Beastmoon trophy. Until one of Leon's very sexy viewers, Dave, figured out something that can change this whole thing around. Dave here found out, since after the hiatus we took since the Beastmoon PvE wasn't going to be on until the second month, that the Beastmoon PvP actually counts towards it as well. Well, sort of. This is because the trophy won't pop right then and there, but it will eventually pop once the PvE event goes live. And with that new knowledge, we went ahead and tried our hand in some Beastmoon PvP. This was more bearable than the PvE due to one thing: there was no timer. The goal here is to capture as many points as possible, and the first to 100 points wins. Sure, we would lose sometimes because that's just the nature of PvP stuff, but we were finally making solid progress on getting 10 wins. This PvP mode was a little weird though, since sometimes the game splits our group in half, which makes it somewhat fun in its own right as well.
Bye bye. You dead.
Sorry.
No. Fucking wow, I had AoE with enough pip. I would have just deleted all of it.
I guess if you don't flee.
I can't flee. If I flee, you'll win.
But you don't get points for flee. Does the other team get points when you flee?
Yeah, if you flee.
Flee! Go, flee!
Flee, bitch.
Oh, boy,
my
no!
Jesus Christ! Alright, we're
No.
we lost. No! What is that?
No way!
Jesus Christ!
How many points do you get if I leave? Because I can flee and then go capture and I win.
Well, flee and found out.
Yeah! You know you wanna. They'll be so mad if that costs them the game. But if you flee and you don't, like, if it's not enough points, then you could capture the point and win the game.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I can just leave and I can go cap. Yeah, fuck it. I'm just gonna flee. See if I throw this or not.
Yes!
Hey!
Oh no! I mean, at least now we know. Damn, that gave us like heck of points. We're at 111.
But more importantly, we had a chance to cheese the system. We were not fans of these game modes to begin with, right? So we ended up agreeing that if our group does split and we have to compete against each other, that the one person would just throw the match. It was criminal on how easy it was to sabotage a team here, because all we had to do to give the enemy team points is by simply fleeing. And since this is a really old game, there weren't any penalties for doing this either. Is it a scummy move for the few players that actually enjoy this game mode? Of course. But we were so done with this dumpster fire of an event that none of us truly cared anymore, as long as it ends as soon as possible. So as soon as we saw that we already have the 10 wins, the next step now is to wait until the PvE event goes back online. Fast forwarding a month later, while I was wrapping up my first arc in Dragonspire, is when I was surprised with a Maximal Mayhemus trophy.
I mean, I didn't either, but like, there's probably gonna be like this one dude at Dragonspire. Oh, we got it.
Doc breathe.
I got the Beastmoon Mayhem trophy. Yippee!
After getting that done, I was convinced that I can finally get this platinum, where originally I thought it was going to be one of those games that I just never finished. So off I went and played through the story, slowly leveling up my character while occasionally camping the main merchant so I can get different types of treasure cards. Which now brings us to my next goal, and that's for dealing 1 million damage and 1 million healing. So I already did my research on how to get these, even if the skull I went with was fire. This is still very obtainable with the use of an overwhelmingly amount of trap cards and blades. And of course the Frankenstein card for Death Skull that deals 900 flat damage to the enemy and gives half of it back as heals. For me to stack these cards, they need to be different. Be it from items or pets, as long as they have different variants of the card, this would stack. The main problem here is that the main merchant doesn't just have these cards at all times, or sometimes even at all. This is because the main merchant, called the Bazaar, is a player-driven marketplace, and players tend to camp this guide to get really good cards. For what reason? I have no clue, since treasure cards are only one-time use anyways. So it was really hard for me to buy unique cards since, for starters, other players have to sell them first in order for that specific card to appear. Secondly, racing the scalpers in there before they end up buying out the ones that I needed. I obviously didn't just camp the Bazaar because that would have been miserable, but I do occasionally check and see if they have new cards in stock every time my backpack ends up getting full. There are other means of getting these cards, but it just involves farming bosses and dungeons for them. It was something I tried for a little bit, but ended up getting bored right away. Another huge factor here is progressing far enough into the story until I was introduced with a new mechanic where I can finally have a chance to land a critical. I didn't do a lot of research here, but I'm pretty sure critical hits are just double the original damage. And this was a very crucial element that I needed to pull this off, because for me to achieve both trophies, I needed needed the Frankenstein card to dish out a total of 2 million damage so I can get 1 million healing back to me. And without proccing a critical, this would be damn near impossible to achieve. I was curious and somewhat impatient at this point, where I just wanted to try this method even if I didn't think that I had enough cards to pull this off. And sure enough, I ended up not critting my attack, which only got me an attack under 100k. Even if I landed a crit, I still wouldn't even be remotely close to the millions. But then I understood that it was very possible to pull off the perfect attack. I did have backup plans like stacking a bunch of life cards, which wasn't remotely close as well. At this point in the game, I was very confident that I could easily dish out 1 million damage. But then I was still clueless on how to pull off healing for 1 million. As I progressed further, the Giga Chad known as Dave stopped by my chat while I was streaming over at twitch.tv/DoccoBell. He said that he already had tons of cards and that he was willing to help me get my 1 million trophy. I was still skeptical at this point because using a foreign card that was meant to be for death wizards wouldn't do well for me since I was a fire wizard. But I still had to try, and if someone's offering to help, what could possibly go wrong? Well, a bunch of things actually, because as I said before, treasure cards are one-time use, and since I've used the extra ones just on pure curiosity, I literally had one of each card at this point. So if it ends up not working, I would have just had to camp for the rest of the cards that I needed. So off we went into the easiest part of the game so the enemies wouldn't end up killing us during the initial setup. My hands were shaking like I was throwing away all my prized possessions or something, until I realized that my pips were all wrong. They were wrong.
Oh my god. I think it's scuffed. I forgot about like changing the death. I forgot to change it. No, all my cards are gone. My bad, Dave. Oh, I can't believe I scuffed that one.
It's a whole thing, all right, but if you're new or have never heard of this game before, pips are what you use to cast your cards, and power pips counts as 2 pips. What I have here are fire pips, right? Certain cards require a specific pip in order for me to cast it. In my case, Frankenstein here needed death pips. At this point, my heart sank as I was about to be in absolute despair and complete depression, until Dave told me to do it again. Now that I technically used all of my cards, I was down to basically nothing at this point compared to when I first went for it. But Dave had tons of treasure cards still, but I already lost all hope. And at this point, even if it didn't work, I still would be looking forward to the 1 million damage, just no 1 million healing afterwards if it was remotely even under 2 million. So I had to do this perfectly. I had to get 2 million damage. As Dave casted all of his cards towards the enemy, along with me putting on the very little remaining cards that I had left, I initiated the attack and inhaled, then exhaled my last breath of hope.
Alright, let's see. Wait, much damage? I know for a fact it has to be 1 million at least, but I want that 2 mil. Please crit. Please crit. If I don't crit, I'm probably just gonna get 1 mil. Please crit. Please, if there's a chance, if there's a time to crit, now would be that time. Oh my god, I critted. Let's go. My god, let's go! 2 million, let's freaking go! Oh shit! Trophy! Let's go, dude! GG, Dave! You're a beast. Thank you, man. Oh man. Oh dude, I was shaking, bro.
The minute I saw that I landed a critical, the light at the end of the tunnel grew brighter than usual. And thanks to Dave, I was free from the chains of these 2 trophies, haunting me in my sleep no longer. At this point, getting the platinum trophy was as easy as farming for a couple more hours. So while I was here, I ended up going for the Undead Conqueror trophy for defeating 500 undead enemies, nabbing me the 50 undead very early on in my playthrough, and then the defeating 100 undead trophy came afterwards. And since I didn't need that many anymore, I ended up farming them on the same spots and shortly got my trophy. Trophy. After everything was said and done, the final trophy I had left was to collect 50 unique pets. Pets are great, but they're annoying to farm, especially if you're just purposely looking for them. Certain bosses drop unique pets, but unfortunately, most of these pets are in dungeons. So here I was spending hours replaying the same dungeon in hopes of getting a pet drop, only for my patience to rapidly decline because of the length of the crap I had to go through just to fight the boss I wanted to fight, just for me to get nothing, and having to do that all over again. There are vendors all over the game that sells pets of different kinds, but it wasn't enough. As I was looking up certain bosses that drop certain pets, I was told in chat once again that the Jade Oni over at Mushu drops like 18 pets. The perfect thing about the Jade Oni is that there was no dungeon, it was just a straight boss fight. The downside for this farming method was the Oni had 6,000 HP, which means I did have to do some setup, which did add up the longer I farmed this dude. For 2 days, 2 whole days, dude, I farmed the Jade Oni in hopes of dropping me a unique pet, until it suddenly was dropping pets that I already had. And don't get me wrong, I did get a lot of pets from the Jade Oni, but I still had some chances for other pets to drop for this boss fight since the Jade Oni drops like 17 of them. But the Jade Oni fight proved to be too slow of a process, until Dave came back and once again came through as he wanted me to succeed in life. He tried to help me to the best of his abilities, like finding secret shops that I've missed, to hatching unique pets together, until he found the premium farming spot, who basically drops the same stuff as the Jade Oni and actually drops quite a few more. Wizard City's low-level final boss, Lord Nightshade. How did I not know that this guy dropped so many pets? This method was so much easier as Lord Nightshade would die with a single use of my AoE, which means no setups needed, and that each fight lasted for about 5 seconds. And after farming this guy for another hour, I finally managed to get my final pet, forever closing my chapter in Wizard101. RNG will forever be my nemesis. Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! That was such a wild experience, and while I did enjoy the game, this trophy set was hot garbage. But it has been done, and I just want to thank Leon again for lending me his footage of our struggles, and of course Dave for literally changing the outcome of this game for me. Also, bonus shoutouts to Noct and Void for making this game a lot more enjoyable. But if you guys enjoyed the video, consider subscribing if you haven't already, leave a like and let me know what you thought of the video. And until next time, my fellow trophy hunters, remember to keep it real, but not too real, because that's just boring. And I hope everyone has a phenomenal day. Trophy!